Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Tasteless Gentlemen. We have a very special guest today, Katie, who made the 12-hour drive from Orange County on a Saturday, nonetheless. Today's Saturday, right?
It's supposed to be an hour and a half drive.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Then we have Dom.
Gang.
Alex.
White Claws up.
Ziggs. What up? And Scoop.
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
From the dead.
We found Scoop.
I missed the last episode. I was in Palm Springs having a bit too much fun. And I came back at, whatever. We recorded Sunday. Or you guys recorded Sunday. And I had a bit too much fun. I slept the entire day. And then I missed the show.
24 hours of sleep. Legit?
No. I was
or just
up.
During the daylight hours.
No, I was in the pool actually as the sun came up in Palm Springs Sunday morning, and
they
passed out on a pizza raft.
It was great.
There's no hours, but
excuse me, sir. We had a rental house.
Okay, Airbnb. I forgot.
We're not peons.
Excuse me. It was $500 a night.
Cha-ching.
Between 35 people.
Yeah, exactly.
There were 16 people. But it was big enough. Everyone had their own bed.
That's crazy.
It was great.
Crazy.
It was great. Anyway, I woke up in the pool. Sun came up, and I was having a couple, frosty boys. And then my plan was sleep all day, make it to the show. Well, I woke up as you guys were doing the show. And
Your plan was fraught with fucking mistakes as soon as you said sleep.
That's why Too Short had it right. Don't stop, keep rolling downhill.
yeah. I mean, I would have come in here hot. But
I think on another episode, I would like to hear some stories from that weekend.
next episode. We'll
Not on this one, but yes.
If he remembers the story.
Yeah.
I remember. Some,
The ones that are bad, I don't remember.
yeah.
So, you have some news to drop, yeah?
Oh, yes. Okay, so obviously, every show is brought to you by shop.tastelessgentlemen.com. We're putting up new t-shirts. The Under Quaker that looks like Quaker Oats is doing very well.
What was his name? Did he have a name?
The Undertaker?
Or the Quaker Oats guy?
The Quaker Oats guy. Like you got Tony the Tiger?
That's a title itself.
No, but I mean, did he have a name?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, he's
Quinn
Quaker.
the Quaker? I don't fucking know.
I mean, maybe it might be.
What, are you thinking like it's Uncle Ben or something?
Yeah, exactly. Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, Tony the Tiger. There's the names.
True.
Toucan Sam.
Nah, Quaker is so fucking bland. They didn't even want to give that dude a name.
Anyway, so that's the new one.
New shirts going up all the time. We appreciate you guys' support. If you guys can subscribe, do all that bullshit. It really does help us, though. I was looking at the numbers. We asked a couple shows ago. It makes such a big difference if you just comment or review on iTunes or whatever.
Yeah, hit that bell.
Hit that bell.
Smash that like button.
Also, Wednesday. So this show is going up Monday. Wednesday, the Patreon is launching.
Fuck
so
yeah!
It wasn't even so. We avoided it for a while because I feel like it's almost taking money for nothing, even though you are providing something. But because that's why we did the T-shirt thing. It was like, well, you guys get a T-shirt out of this.
Yeah, there's a direct service transaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so many people ask for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Instead of ordering the shirt.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want a shirt, just Patreon. Okay.
We do provide priceless advice. As much as the shit we talk about is
literally
funny.
Priceless. Actually, it's more.
You couldn't put a price on it if you want. It's really not worth shit.
I think worthless is the more apropos word.
Yeah. Baseball cards in 2019. That's what we provide.
Yeah, people will be trading our advice for nothing later.
Saving lives.
So the Patreon's going up. So Wednesday. Or maybe even Monday. We'll see. I got to fix a few things. But so the Patreon's going up, though, this week. There's I think there's 6 different levels. The first level is just memes that we can't post literally anywhere else.
Of which there are a lot.
And it doesn't seem like they're taking them down. I've been posting them on Patreon, kind of, feeling it out a little bit. It seems like it's working. The second level is memes and a private Discord if you guys want to play some games with us or just talk some shit. The third one is you get a T-shirt every month. So you get all that and a T-shirt every month. And then there's a few levels after that. But, you'll see it on Patreon.
So there's literally levels to this shit.
And then just In-N-Out Burger, we have a secret menu where you get a picture of Dom's dick.
Yes, for sure.
Enough.
$500 a month. You get Dom's dick, every different angle.
and me fucking fleshlight.
A fucking custom
That's
video.
$1,000 a month.
A tribute video. Fucking
Yeah.
Bradley fucking a fleshlight.
Anyway, that's what we got going on.
All right,
So there
I
it
like it. The Patreon, that's huge.
The real
dude.
top tier is Bradley will bottle up his copious amounts of pre-cum.
Here we go.
The top tier would be Ziggy doing some fucking shit. I don't know.
So we are here to talk about ghosts.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. To be honest,
Don
with
was
you.
legit scared about this when I brought it up. At
Yeah,
first.
I don't fuck with the dead. I don't fuck with ghosts. I don't like being in fear and not being able to control that.
So you've
You know what I
never had any experiences ever?
A couple minor ones, but I know like my family members like definitely have. But like mine were more like when I used to be in the basement in my old house in Chicago, and I used to be playing with my toys. My parents would, like go to the gas station real quick. I always used to hear footsteps, and I always thought it was like my parents coming home. So I'd run upstairs, and there's nobody up there. I was like, okay, that's weird. And I told my mom, and she was just like, oh no, the house is just settling. And then we moved to Texas. She was like,
That's what they all say.
that's ghosts.
Wait, was it an old house?
It was an older house.
This
and I-
house is 80 years old. It's still settling. Fuck.
And then it was just, I just didn't like that place. I didn't like going in the basement to fucking play with the toys. It was creepy.
Bad vibes.
I didn't like fucking going to bed with all the lights off. I didn't like doing shit in that house. It was just weird.
Which-
I don't even like driving past it when I go back home to visit because I
We-
feel like that ghost is gonna be in the attic.
So
like,
you moved.
looking at me
You moved away, and then your mom was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't want to tell you, but the
Yeah.
house was haunted."
because you know I'm a huge scaredy cat when it comes to that.
So what
shit.
did she explain to you though when she said the house was haunted? Like, did she say this? Was she experiencing things?
Nah, she was just like, yeah, you know what I mean. There, it was definitely haunted. There was a ghost in there. She's like, she didn't know much, but she was like, yeah, the house was haunted. And I was like, I fucking knew it.
That's crazy.
There was something about going downstairs. I was like,
I don't know about this.
well, yeah. I hated
think,
going downstairs.
I think she told you she was leaving and to go play in the basement, and really she was just getting her cheeks clapped.
His mom? What is wrong with you?
This guy has no respect.
That I've never had anything like that. Like
Yeah.
you said, it was minor. That's not really minor, dude. I've never really had anything like.
Like full on footsteps. Like
Yeah, I would think it was my parents coming home, and it wasn't. No baby up there, and I was like fucking 8, so I was like, I didn't fucking know. She's like, oh, the house is settled. I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
Did it only happen when they would leave?
This was by
What's
myself.
your
Like it liked
assessment?
you.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I was a fucking handsome lad back then. You know, it's like, I fuck with this
Hey,
kid.
you still are. Don't
Yeah.
Thank
don't
you, man.
don't
Thank
go
you,
there,
thank you.
dude. How dare you?
Yeah, it was just creepy, man.
I mean,
Like-
they just know to fuck with kids because the parents won't believe them.
yeah, I know, right? But yeah.
Well,
even,
seriously
to this
though,
day.
like kids actually do typically have more experiences. So
Really?
I mean, yeah, they're more open to things. I think
Yeah,
like
that
as we
makes
get
sense.
older, we kind of close off like, it's nothing, you know. But you know, kids, it's like, oh, this
Oh,
guy will
I'm-
see me.
I'm still not closed off.
But I think that's a good point though, because
Yeah.
like your mom, like, oh, the house is settling. Like my mom would say stuff like that too. Like, oh, yeah, you're imagining things. I'm not imagining it.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, there's a motherfucking ghost in this bitch.
yeah. And the thing is, I'm not even. I mean, I don't know shit, so I'm not like I'm not here nor there. But sometimes some stuff happens that is not explainable.
Yeah.
Well, you have a couple stories.
I have a
don't
bunch.
you?
So I grew up in a house that was built in 1901. It's a Victorian house in San Francisco.
Oh, those are the creepiest.
You're
to
already
begin
setting
with.
the stage for
Yeah.
the hauntings
yeah.
right there.
And,
She's
uh,
like, oh, I've been in many of those.
Like
Yeah.
literally every fucking ghost movie is in a Victorian
Literally,
house.
like all the just think about it, like all the crown molding and all this
Yeah.
stuff and the weird layout, like those Victorian houses. Have
they're like
odd-
mazes. Like
Yeah, literally like a maze.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the rooms would connect for no reason.
and the rooms are tiny as fuck.
Yeah.
The doorways are small.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The
stairway.
Winchester house.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too far from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stairway that just led to the ceiling.
Yeah. I actually grew up in the Winchester house. No big deal.
Wait, is that the one in San Diego?
No. It's Santa.
The Winchester
It's
Mystery
a-
Mansion.
Oh no,
In
that's
South
San
Bay.
Francisco.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
it, yeah.
By-
There's
by-
another
yeah.
one. There's a few in San Diego that are pretty famous, right?
The Whaley House.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, sipping my White Claw. So I have a few that are earlier, but I feel like they're kind of anecdotal, so I don't want to get into those. But the one specific one that I remember that really freaked me out, I think I was 16, maybe 15 or 16, and I brought my girlfriend, my buddy, and his girlfriend all back to the house, and my mom would work super late, so we were gonna smoke blunts, and I lived in the yeah, of course, and we lived in the attic, and excuse me, my room was in the attic, But it was a nice like furnished room, you know. Anyway, so we're sitting there and we're smoking, you know, we're having fun, and I hear running up the stairs.
Fuck that.
And it sounds like full blown like mom coming home, but she's a linebacker running up the stairs.
And like she knows you're smoking weed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh shit, you know,
We're caught.
boom, 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 up the stairs, and then the door it looks like someone is trying to knock it off the hinges. And I'm not kidding when I say, I mean,
that intense?
Dude, it was shaking and like vibrating.
Not.
And I was like, whoa, dude, my mom's pissed. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, put out the
Mom's
weed.
gonna beat my ass.
Yeah. One more hit. Put out the spliff. Oh, shit. And I go to the door like, oh, fuck, you know. And I open the door. Nothing. And then I'm looking around. I'm like, well, my brother was pretty little. He's 8 years younger than me. So he's pretty little. I know he's not home without anybody else. So I'm kind of looking down the hallway, and then I go downstairs, and I'm looking around, and then I'm freaked out because I know nobody's home, and I go back upstairs, like, hey, can you guys come downstairs with me?
Hell yeah.
And nobody was home. Nothing was going on.
Was this during the day or at night?
It was 4:00 in the afternoon.
And that's when your friend's like, I gotta go home for dinner.
They were all so freaked out. The girl I was dating was almost in tears, and they were also. We all just left. We all just walked. I was like, I'm not coming home until someone else is home.
Fuck
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't.
Even I'd be out of that.
Yeah,
Really?
So it was like as if someone was taking the door and like doing this.
it was like
on the
banging
handle.
on the door. It was like someone was
like-
banging, like
okay.
yeah, but it was shaking,
Damn.
banging on the door.
That's real.
Super scary.
Yeah, I'd have shit my pants for sure.
Yeah, and I still no idea to this day. I can't think of another.
That's
explanation.
heavy. That's intense.
Yeah.
I've had kind of experiences like that with the just heavy, intense footsteps running, but mine were a little weird because I was in this building that it had like a really high kind of peaked roof, and it had rafters that went across, and the running, it sounded like somebody was running on the rafters.
Oh
It's
wow.
just weird.
Yeah.
Just like right above my head, and that freaked me out. You know, because I was like, why, you know, if it's a ghost running in here, like, why are you on the rafters? Like, running
Why can't he be? He can be wherever he wants. A fucking ghost. Whoa.
It was just weird. It was like, okay, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to make sense of it, you know. But I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna get out of here.
What was the building?
It's this hotel that's in San Antonio where I'm from, and it's haunted. I mean, people go there for that purpose, you know. But that was a new one for me, you know. Just being, it was like the event space, you know, and it just, you know, it had like one of those A-frame or whatever roof,
Yeah.
with like the rafters going
vaulted
across.
roofs or whatever.
Yeah. I couldn't make sense.
Wait,
of that.
so wait. Try to keep the mic like right, you know, closer. But so you plan. So wait. How do you even get to a
That was-
spot? Like, what do you do to? So
How do you
go-
even get into doing what
Yeah,
you
I was
do?
about to say, at one point, we were like, you know what? That
Yeah.
running, I fuck with that. I'm going to go find these
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Let's start from like the beginning. How the fuck you even got into this? Because that's it. I need to know.
Well, I mean, we all get into it in different ways, but I think just kind of like you guys, it's like you have these weird experiences, and you know, some people are like, "Fuck this, I'm out," and then there's people like me that are like, "I need to know what this is," you know. And
Was this as a kid though? Like you had your first
yeah,
experience?
well, I actually had stories told to me from my mom and my grandma before I had my first experiences. So I grew up, and you know, there's a lot of families that it's taboo, and you know, we're not going to talk about paranormal stuff, or it's not real or whatever. But my family, it was just normal, you know. My grandma and my mom, they were, I guess, shopping in just a whatever department store they were in, and they saw my great grandma and her nursing home roommate shopping in the store.
And they were both deceased.
Both
I
of them
imagine.
passed away, yeah. And I guess my mom and my grandma saw them at the same time. And it was weird because it was just like they were shopping in the store, you know, just like pulling stuff from the rack.
Damn.
And the
just-
thing is, when you can, that's why I told that other story, because you can corroborate with other people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
all saw this, not just one
well,
person.
they both saw it at the same time and didn't know that the other one had seen it, and they turned to each other and could see, you know, they're both like white. So
That's
they told me
crazy.
that when I was real little, and you know, you're a kid, and you know, you believe in a lot of things when you're
Yeah.
a kid, so it wasn't a thing for me. But my first experience was my grandpa had passed away, and when he was alive, we would be at my grandma's house, you know, and eating dinner in the next room over, like the kitchen and living room were connected, and he would sit in the living room and just watch TV the whole time we were we were eating. He didn't want to be at the table with us.
I like him already. I like him already.
I'm watching TV.
But we'd be in there talking. I guess we'd be talking too loud. It was like drowning the TV out. So he'd turn the volume up on the TV. You know, he'd get pissed and like turn the volume up. And after he passed away, after he passed away, we'd be in there, and my grandma would just leave the TV on in the living room while we're eating, and the volume would just go up on its own. Yeah. So that was kind of my first experience with it. You know, we knew, and it was just, again, it was kind of normal. My family, like, oh, it's my grandpa. You know, that's him sitting in there.
So I've actually heard this before, that ability, whatever you want to refer to it as, can be almost pseudo hereditary. Was this like? Do you think that's the case here? Like your mom and your grandma talked about it because they also were able to, you know, interact with ghosts when they were younger?
You know, it's something I'm still trying to understand myself, but I mean, I don't think any of us really know, you know, for sure it's something that I think my grandma and my mom are definitely a little
So it's
sensitive.
in your family then, for sure, that ability, whatever you want to refer to it as.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think I'm noticing that more lately, just kind of going back over things that I remember from, you know, my childhood, and just things that, you know, my mom just talks about it like it's nothing. She doesn't talk about it like, oh, I'm sensitive and I see ghosts. Yeah. She just talks about it like, oh yeah, I had this experience and whatever, and, you know, just like it's a friend of hers or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you think there would be like scales to it too? Like if you're like kind of sensitive to it, are there people that are just like outright seeing shit?
There's
you know
definitely
scales.
I mean, I'm learning that more recently, actually, getting back into this stuff. I've met a lot of people that, you know, I consider myself somewhat sensitive, but there's, you know, people that are straight up light workers that can manipulate things. And I mean, that's crazy to me. I don't know if that's like a power you tap into or
hold on. What is a light worker?
Yeah.
We don't speak the language.
Yeah. I'm still learning all this stuff myself. So I, you know, when I first got into the paranormal, I was very much on the more scientific side of things, and you know, I didn't really. It's not that I didn't believe in like psychics and all that stuff, but I just, you know, I still kind of take it with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think everyone who says they're psychic.
Yeah.
You know,
it's open for grifters and weirdos.
Right.
And,
but I'm also learning that there's, you know, different levels of this stuff that I, you know, because I just didn't really put a lot of weight into it before. I didn't pay attention. You know, I didn't know all the different kinds of, you know, sensitivities people can have. But I guess a light worker, from what I understand, is somebody that can just basically manipulate energy. They actually, not like they can like levitate things or anything like that, but they can meditate and go into these states where they can actually go in and remotely clear energy from another person, just crazy things like that. And I mean, I don't know, I obviously haven't experienced it myself, but I've seen some weird things. Definitely that make me think maybe this could be real.
That it's possible.
It's possible, yeah.
One thing is for sure, we don't know why we're here or what we're doing. Yeah. So I don't rule anything out.
One thing I've always noticed like nobody ever entertains is like, what if a ghost to us or what we're perceiving or people that are sensitive to it or whatever, what if it's just like something from like an opening of like a wormhole space-time continuum thing, or like multiverses like bumping together and coming in sync at some point, and you're just getting a vision of somebody living in that exact same space in like a different universe.
Yeah, I think that's more than possible.
Right? I mean, that's something that I definitely believe. Just the whole, you know, quantum physics like aspect of this stuff. You know, like I've said and I've heard it said by other people. It's almost like you have a radio. You know, it's like if we're all, you know, in the same space, kind of like you have a radio, but it can be tuned to different frequencies. Yeah. It's like if, you know, you just cross our frequency right now with another frequency, it's like you'll see something kind of appear and then disappear just as those frequencies kind of light up, you know?
Yeah. So what do you, is this something you do for a living? Do you like go out and find spots, or like, how does this work? I don't know how any of this works.
I wouldn't say I don't do it for a living per se. I mean, it's more of a hobby for me. But it's definitely a lifestyle. I mean, just the paranormal community, that's what everyone enjoys doing. It's just, you know, finding the newest spot that maybe somebody doesn't know about. You know, there's spots like the Winchester House and, you know, Whaley House and stuff that, you know, everybody's done that.
Right.
But
that's
I know
rookie shit.
Yeah. Which is still interesting.
No, of course.
But, you know, it's
is there a subreddit? What do we
But it's, I think it's, you know, we all have our bucket list of places that, you know, we want to go. And I think it's kind of like the way that people travel. Like, oh, I want to go to Europe. It's like you have, you know, paranormal investigators, it's like, what's haunted in Europe? Let's go to those places, you know?
Yeah.
So are there places you got to get like cleared to go to, or do you go to places that are just easily publicly accessible?
Both. There's definitely places you got to get cleared to go to, which is kind of the perks of TV. You know, you do it for TV. It's like you kind of get into some of these places that maybe the general public doesn't get to go. You know, they kind of pull strings and stuff. Like Alcatraz, for example. When I did Ghost Lab, I was the ghost bait. I was the only girl on the team, and I was
Ghost bait.
They would put me by myself all the time. They would mess with me. I was kind of like the little sister, you know. So it's like, oh, there's a creepy dungeon. Katie's going in there.
Wait, so our ghosts respond more to women or something? Is that a thing?
Sometimes.
Hey, girl.
Sometimes.
What that thing smell like?
It's Alcatraz. It's a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Well, in the dungeon, it was solitary confinement. So, you know, they hadn't seen.
So Alcatraz
women
is haunted because I'm about to go to San Francisco next week.
Yeah, we were talking about Alcatraz.
Go during the day. They have night tours. If you
Okay,
want.
yeah, I'm not going at night. That's for sure.
Wait, so you were actually like in a cell and they shut the door?
I was so in the dungeon, it's where solitary was. Like the cells aren't down there anymore. It's just kind of open. But they made me turn off all the lights, turn off my flashlight, just sit down there by myself. And I hadn't gone down there before they put me down there, so I didn't even know what it looked like. So, you know, it's creepy because, you know, I have a thing about long, dark hallways. And
So you have no knowledge of what it looks like during the day?
Right.
They're just like, okay, you got to go down there. You're the ghost bait.
Yeah.
Scary.
And then what time was this? Like midnight, 3 a.m.
No, it was. You know, I think it was like maybe 9 or 10 o'clock.
It was dark. It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Well, it's dark in there anyway.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
for
big
sure.
compound.
Yeah.
In the dungeon, you know, there's no windows or anything like that.
It's not like scary shit happens after midnight.
Hell yeah, the freaks come out at night. You heard the song.
But yeah, they stuck me down there. They're like, turn off your light. You know, sit down there by yourself. Then they forgot about me. They left me down there for an hour. And you know,
How long were you supposed to be?
maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Yeah, they left me down for an
Wait,
hour.
Were you able to like get yourself out? Like,
I had to wait for them because they didn't tell me how long they were gonna leave me down there. So I'm not gonna just leave, you know. So I'm sitting down there. Apparently they went to lunch.
I was literally just gonna say that they're at the fucking buffet table.
They really were
getting lunch.
Fuckers.
And like I had a walkie, but you know it's like stone walls and it doesn't have a range really, so they couldn't hear. I was like calling them, like no one's responding to me. So
Please help me.
Yeah, I was here like scratching on the walls and like just different things.
Are you scared? Like,
I mean, I get scared. You get desensitized to some things like, you know, footsteps and stuff like that. I mean, it depends. It
Okay.
depends. Like your footsteps. I mean, that would still freak me out.
Yeah.
You know,
Like if it's coming towards you versus if it's just like around the corner.
right? Or if it's like faint and just kind of walking by, like okay. But if it's like running at you,
So I've been on the Alcatraz tour a bunch of times. What you're talking about, I don't think that's on the tour, is it?
no,
Okay.
the dungeon's not.
Yeah, because they don't show you much when you go on the tour. Like there's a whole other part of Alcatraz that they just don't show. No, it's not the Rock. There's not like mazes underground.
There should be.
I mean, yeah, there should be. Yeah.
My buddy, we went. I'm from San Francisco. We went in at the end of high school to Alcatraz, and he stole. We were at the, you know, we're little hood rat kids, and we're in the shop. You know, the Alcatraz shop. He stole a key. Like they make those like, you know, fake
Skeleton
keys.
keys,
Skeleton
the old
key.
ones?
Yeah. He stole one of those and he put it in his pocket. Anyway, he got caught. And the security guard was like, you know, this is actually a felony because you're on federal property.
Yeah.
And this, you can get in a lot of trouble for this.
That's funny.
Damn.
It was actually kind of funny. And he was all freaked out. And they're like, I'm just kidding. But no, you really can't get fucked up.
damn.
Wait, so what was your experience? I mean, I have so many questions.
Me
but
too. I could go on
What?
for hours.
Okay, let's staying in this realm. What was your experience being alone for an hour? I mean, are we talking pitch black to where you can't see your hand in front of your face?
It was really dark
Okay.
down there. Yeah.
So what? Obviously, I'm sure you encountered some really strange shit. What was that like?
So first of all, I did not follow the rules. I turned my flashlight back on after about 10 minutes.
Fuck
I
yeah!
was like, "Fuck this! I'm turning it on."
But
Like,
did they have the cameras on you too, or was it just audio for you?
So this was one time that I was actually self shooting. Like the camera guy followed me down just to establish that I was.
So
going
you're
down
going
there,
full
but-
Blair Witch Project over here.
Yeah, I had the little camcorder pointed at me, and yeah, that was it. Just flashlight and a camcorder.
Mhm.
I was more freaked out just by the darkness and the fact that, like I said, I hadn't seen it during the day, and I don't like unknown. You know, I don't like what I don't.
mean,
Like,
you-
I want to know the layout.
So you
know?
have, I was gonna say you have no knowledge if there's a wall 4 feet in front of your face
I
or to your
still-
right or left or anything.
Well, I knew that it was like a hallway and then kind of these little cubby holes, I guess, where they used to have the, the bars, that they've taken them down. So I was just sitting in one of those little cubby holes. But, the whole other part of the dungeon, I still don't know what it looks like. I have no idea.
That's super scary.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm terrified now.
So
the lights are on.
So
Dom,
you're
Dom
down-
won't even go on the daylight tour now.
Yeah, dude, I just got over being scared of the dark like 2 years ago.
Wait, did you sleep with the lights on?
Hell yeah, ghosts don't like lights. So the lights are the TV.
Is that
That's
true?
not
though?
true.
Yeah, I was about to say.
that always kept me sane. I was like, they don't like TV, so I just turn on Beavis.
They
and
love
Butthead.
TV. Did you not see the Poltergeist?
This is before. No, I didn't. My mom told me not to watch that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend it for you.
Yeah.
So, all right, you're down there. You don't really know the layout. It's pitch black. You're there for 10 minutes in complete darkness. And then you're like, okay, I need a flashlight.
Yeah,
I
lights
need
going
some
on.
sort of sanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was hearing little faint noises here and there, but really, do you guys know what EVPs are?
Mm-hmm.
No, what's that? I don't know what that is.
So it's an electronic voice phenomenon. So you have a little audio recorder,
Yeah.
and it's like a standard piece of equipment that, whenever you go investigate, that's pretty basic. You go in there and it'll pick up voices that you and I can't hear, below the threshold of human hearing. So I had my audio recorder and, I'm hearing things around me, but nothing really distinct. But later on, after reviewing it, that's where creepy EVPs like kind of confirmed just the feeling I was getting down there. So one of them said, "I want you."
Of course. They're
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's fucking jail down there.
That was
Hey,
actually-
girl,
that
come
was
to cell 77. It's lit.
The other one was the creepier one. It said, "I got you now."
Oh.
Yeah.
And you could make it out distinctly,
Yes.
like without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Were they like those growly sort of demonic voices or just the normal
Not
kind of
as bad
EVPs?
as some of the ones that I've heard. Some of those that has freaked me out the most. I think if I were to say what my scariest experience, I mean, I've had like actual experiences, but when you listen to some of those EVPs and it's not a human voice,
Yeah.
I mean, the hair on my arm is just like,
We could go back to
What, like
the
this- They're speaking like Latin or fucking Aramaic or some shit like that?
no, if I got that, I think I don't even know.
What?
No.
Oh, you think
I'd
this
be
is a
out.
joke?
What is your scariest? Like, what experience stands out to you as being like, this is the top, the holy shit?
So I actually can't share it yet because
It happened recently.
Yes. So the project that I just worked on, that's coming out in October, you guys will see it. That was the craziest experience I've had. That place. So I was at this place called Pinhurst, and I didn't know a lot about Pinhurst before going there, but it's this old asylum, mental asylum
Mhm.
that it was. I think it was 1906, I believe, was the year it was open, and it closed down as recently as the 80s. So it hasn't been closed that long.
Mhm.
But the treatment of people in there was just terrible. It was built to house, I believe it was 500 people, and it ended up housing 3,500.
What the fuck?
Damn.
They had full-on adults in cribs.
Fuck.
Yeah, like couldn't
Just
walk,
straight
anything.
abuse.
Yeah.
This is
Not
like-
enough doctors for the
And-
amount of people there,
And
just-
all women on what is it? Postpartum depression
yeah.
on bed rest.
yeah. It was terrible. And so, I mean, you can imagine, if it was like that while people were living, how is it after they're gone? And I mean, this place blew my mind. It really did. It was just some of the scariest, creepiest stuff I've ever experienced in my life. Like I was not prepared for it, to be honest with you. I've been doing this for 10 years and I've been in some crazy places, but I went in there, I'm like, oh, it's just another place, like let's go investigate, whatever. I mean, it was life-changing. It really was. Like I didn't expect that, so you guys definitely like tune into A&E.
Damn, that's how you plug a show.
No, seriously.
Could you sense it as soon as you like set foot in there? Like you knew immediately, like this is going to be intense.
I didn't actually, but I think I kind of, even though I do have sensitivities, I'm still kind of tapping into that myself. So, I kind of turn it off when I go into places because I don't want to leave myself open to just anything. A lot
Some demon to
a lot of crazy stuff can happen.
I've definitely walked into houses or apartments
Yeah.
or even rooms and gone, nope.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I could just feel like I want to get the fuck out of here.
Dude, anytime I go out into a new apartment, like where I move in, I always ask the lady, like, yo, any motherfucker die in this bitch?
They're
Dude,
not
I
telling
didn't-
you shit.
I didn't I didn't buy my first house that I was going to buy with our mutual friend because someone died in the house.
Yeah, I'm not buying no house that won't fucking
They
die.
legally have to tell you if somebody
They
died.
do, yes.
Yeah.
If someone died, they have to.
Only if you're buying though, not if you're renting.
No,
I don't
renting,
think.
they don't have to say shit.
Oh shit, these motherfuckers lying the whole
That's
time to
actually-
me.
My next door neighbor was this old guy named Dean who lived there for as long as I lived there, long before that. And he was like the dude who would like walk outside when we were climbing trees. Don't climb the trees, like one of those guys. And his family was all living in like different parts of the country, so they weren't even close by. So when he passed away, my dad was like helping around the house for years. So they just gave my dad the keys, and we had like a second house essentially. So we would like, steal booze from 7-Eleven and go in the alley or go in the side yard and just drink over in the dead next door neighbor's side yard. But
Doing beer runs, bro.
yeah. Snatch and grab. So we were going next door to get like, I think it was like a mattress or something. Like my grandpa was coming to stay for a few weeks. And so we were just going to get a spare mattress to put a bed up in one of the guest rooms that didn't have a bed.
Wait, you were taking a dead guy's mattress for your grandpa?
Our mattress. It's like communist Russia at this point. I mean, we were literally like maintaining the yard. My dad like mowed the lawn, like made sure it looked normal. Like if we ran out of space in the trash can, we used the trash can. But anyway, so we're going in there to like move some shit out of one of the rooms to get the mattress, and we have the light on, and my dad like sent me and my friend over there to go get it, and we go in the room, we turn the light on, everything's on, and then all of a sudden, fucking the light flickers and then just shuts off, and we're like, "Fuck this!" and we fucking run out. Yeah. And now, granted, it could have been an old ass light bulb, could have just blown out or whatever. And so then my dad's like, "Well, where the fuck is the mattress?" Like an hour later, so we're like, all right, we'll go back and get it, and the fucking light's on. Like, he's pissed.
Don't fuck with my mattress.
We're grave robbing over here.
Okay, so you can't talk about the most intense, but I want to hear some that come close to that.
I can give you the second most.
Yeah. We'll go with number 2. That works.
So I once again was put by myself in the basement of an insane asylum again, and
No.
running theme.
I'm already out. We need you to go hang out in the basement of this insane asylum.
Nope. And how fucked up are these places now? Are they totally run down? Like
Yeah, they
there's,
completely abandoned and just shitholes.
Yeah.
like jagged edges, all kinds of shit, like random objects.
Old blood.
Oh
just
yeah,
on the ground.
all that old suitcases and stuff from patients that were there. Like all this stuff's in. They just threw everything in the basement of this place. So it's called Hillview Manor. It's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, sounds horrible already.
I know.
Yeah,
It sounds like
that
a
sounds
movie,
like
right?
the title of a horror
It does.
movie,
I know.
yeah.
And they're always in Pennsylvania too. Fuck that place.
Pennsylvania has a lot of haunted places.
Yeah, coal miners. They're just dying everywhere.
So this place, I mean, it's another one that like Penhurst, you pull up to it and you're just like, all right, this place has got some shit, like for sure. And you walk in and like I said, I mean, I don't always sense things when I walk in, but there's places that I think even if you aren't sensitive to stuff, like you walk in, like you were saying, you walk in, you're like, no, like there's stuff going on in here, something's not right. Exactly. Yeah. But you walk in this place and like the ceiling tiles are coming down and it's just like all the stereotypical like rundown building stuff. And I immediately was like, something's off about this place for sure. So they're like, you're going in the basement. I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
So
Katie to the basement. I hate basements.
where's the most fucked up place in this building? That's where I'm
Send
going.
Katie.
We're gonna need you to put the straitjacket on and stay there till tomorrow.
So they sent me in the basement. I'm sitting in a wheelchair that has 3 wheels.
You're sitting in a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair.
Because that was the only like seat in the whole basement, or?
I don't know.
And that was just left over?
Yeah, they're like, here's a good place to sit. I'm like, okay.
That's somebody's seat.
You're right. No.
What are you
I
doing?
found out later. I didn't know this, and I don't know if it's just like a superstition, but apparently it's actually bad luck to sit in wheelchairs. Like
Never heard that.
Old abandoned wheelchairs. I don't know if that's like a superstition in the paranormal community, but yeah, I found that out later. I'm like, that explains some things.
Yeah.
I did it at Walmart, just fucking around.
Oh, you're fucked.
But
I don't
had
think
all
that
4
counts.
wheels.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you're sitting in a wheelchair.
With
Once
3 wheels
again,
on it.
in
Yeah.
the basement of
Well,
an insane
yeah.
asylum.
So are we talking like old school wheelchair? This isn't like
No, like the ones from like the 1800s,
like the wooden ones.
The big wheels in the back and the,
Yeah,
well, I
yeah.
guess they're all like that. But the, the old school
A little
looking
bit
ones.
older
Yeah.
design.
Yeah. So I'm facing, there's like these double doors, and I guess behind that is storage where they, all the old suitcases and stuff that the patients had is in there, which is creepy. And
of course,
people get attached to their stuff too.
Because this is their personal belongings,
is it
right?
like,
Right.
Is it like old trunk luggage? Like,
yeah, some of that. It's just random stuff. Like they just took everything, I guess it was in the hospital, and just whoever owns it just like piled it in that room. So it's just everybody's stuff.
Probably
just
some
in
cool
there.
antiques in there.
Probably.
$50 million in a suitcase.
some baseball cards.
I know, right?
yeah, you might be able to get a different Phantom when you leave there.
No, that's the thing. You take stuff home. Sometimes you take the spirit home.
Ooh,
Who's
I
attached
tried
to
to tell
that.
my friend that.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
another
Oh
story.
yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. Okay, continue.
Stop stealing from the fucking dead.
Yeah,
bro.
no, don't do it. I learned the hard way, actually.
Yeah.
That's another story. But so I'm facing these double doors, and one of them's propped open, and these are heavy doors, and it's propped open. It's been open the whole time we've been filming. I think this was like the second or third day we've been there at this point. The door has not. Nobody's touched it, right?
You said it's propped, right?
It's propped open.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sitting in this wheelchair facing these doors, and I have my camcorder just like facing the door, and I'm talking to whatever's down there. All of a sudden, the door just kind of unhinges and just starts closing really slow in front of me.
Nope.
And I have the camcorder facing it, and all I could do, I was like, it's like the only noise I could make. So I called Brad and Barry down there. They're big guys, so I was like, walk by it, stomp by it, see, like they repropped it open. I was like, see if you can get it to close. Nothing. We were like banging on the walls, everything.
and there's no draft or anything.
No, nothing.
Don't like.
Did
Yeah.
were you using any of that heat sensing technology to
Thermal
measure
cams.
yeah, thermal
Yeah.
cams.
Yeah, we had a thermal cam, and we use that, on every investigation. And we, our team, we really try to be scientific, recreate things, not just say, oh, it's paranormal, immediately. Like we really try to like put things through the ringer and, see what it could be.
Consider all the possibilities,
Yeah,
variables.
We've thrown a lot of stuff out,
Yeah.
but that we couldn't get it to close again. And like I said, it's a big, heavy door. And I mean, once you have it propped up against the wall, I mean, it stays open.
Yeah.
So would you say audio is like the most successful at recording shit, or would you say video is able to get some decent stuff too?
Video is like the holy grail. I mean, that's every paranormal investigator's like dream to catch something on video. But it's rare. It's hard to do.
Mhm.
But we've caught a couple things for sure.
Like flashes of light, things like that.
Just weird anomalies that you can't explain. Like where it looks like a shape of a person walking by. But it's you see through it. It's not definite. But
Is it white? White, you know what I mean? I've never seen a ghost like.
She said it was
so-
a shadow.
Oh, okay.
no, we've had that too. Like shadow figures. I mean, they manifest in all different forms, and that's something that I think we're all still trying to understand. Like what causes that? Like everybody has their different theories of like why this apparition appeared at this time or whatever. It looks this one's see through, or like my mom and grandma seeing straight up my great grandma right there,
Like
but
a whole person.
a whole person, yeah.
And like, what are dogs looking at?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up with dogs, and they would just be
Freak
looking and start barking at a
Mhm.
specific thing. But also, like when you mentioned the I forget what you called it, but it's stuff that we can't hear, and it's like below. What was that?
The EVPs.
Right. So like a dog can for sure hear that,
Yeah.
right? Like, is that what they're freaking out about?
Oh, he's
Could
gonna,
be.
Come here.
Yeah. Come lay. Yeah. But like, I've lived with dogs and multiple dogs, not like one dog, where they'd freak out and they'd be getting growling at the door. What are they doing?
Yeah, that's not normal. What
That's-
you
yeah.
encountered, like this is all in the same house.
yeah. Oh,
Your
yeah,
house
yeah.
was
oh,
haunted.
I got
Your house was haunted as fuck.
Oh, buddy, I got some
Yeah,
stories
yeah,
about
for
that
sure.
house.
How long did you live there?
My entire childhood until I was 19.
This explains everything.
yeah.
I have one thing. So this is the reason why I brought up the whole like person thing. I have one where I'm still like uncertain of what I saw, and this is like the one that like it was almost so real it didn't freak me out until later. We were at a campfire, so you lived in the Bay Area. Do you know where Sonol is?
Is that like East Bay?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like in
out
between.
there, right? Yeah.
It's in between like Fremont, Pleasanton, and Santa Clara. It's kind of like a rural, little hilly area.
Okay,
in
I think I know
between,
where that is.
Yeah. So we used to have these campfires out there, and there's literally like 500 people live in this town. There's fucking nothing out there. It's all like cows and shit. So we're on this road. That's the road in between Pleasanton and Sonol, and there's nothing there. It's an abandoned railroad track. And so we would walk like 2 miles down this railroad track and like over a few like train bridges and then down to this like creek area where people years ago dumped a bunch of sand. And so we
just random sand.
Well, like
they're trying to make a beach.
This is like a good spot.
Yeah. So like the high school kids would like, buy kegs and then go out there.
Yeah, for a little beach spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A beach
So we
spot,
had
not
our
by
own
the
little
beach.
beach.
Yeah.
So there was this area, and there's nothing for miles. Like there's nothing nearby. There's no homes up like higher over this area. There's nothing there, and so we come back to our car from the bonfire. We're leaving a little before everybody, and we're sitting there where there's this old sort of gravel parking area, and we're about to get in our car, and this like Wiccan looking woman comes out of the bushes from behind. And she's just like not making any sense, just like rattling off random shit. And we couldn't tell if she was like on drugs or like what the fuck she were like, where were you? And she's like, I was just there. And she was like very much like not like responding.
What is she wearing?
It was like a dress kind of thing. I think it was like black dress. I'm telling you, like it was like a goth looking chick.
She's like casting a spell on you.
Yeah, yeah. It was like
It was like you get on a broomstick and fucking take off.
it was
monkeys all over the place.
And then a house fell on her.
But yeah, so like it was just very very creepy. But we were just weirded out by it more than anything. And then one of our friends brought it up brought it up to somebody who was like a few years older, and they're like, dude, same fucking shit, same fucking chick, exact same fucking story. Like
From years earlier.
Like chick just came out of the bushes.
She like live in the bushes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like the weirdest
Some homeless
fucking
woman.
Shit.
Yeah, because if she's just methed out, she's dead
But
2 years later.
Yeah, that's true. You're not going to make it long
not
on
seeing
meth.
the same chick.
that's
The
true.
thing is, there's literally nothing near here. Like there's not even a home. It's all railroad property. There's nothing there.
She's got like a hobbit house.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You go through the bushes,
But-
there's like
yeah,
a doorway.
yeah.
Sunol is one of those places where there's like also like weird shit going on. Like there's weird sort of like hippie communities out there. It's just a weird place. Like if you ever go out to Sunol, it's just there's a lot of stories about like cults that have like communes out there. Like there's just a lot of weird shit going on.
That's where we're gonna start ours.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm only coming in the daytime.
Just
No
wait till
shows
you
at
have an
night.
experience during
Yeah.
the day.
I think.
Then you're not going to know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think like ghosts know I'm such a pussy that they don't even fuck with me. Because they're like, dude, this guy's gonna kill himself.
Isn't it
on
like the
accident.
opposite? Like if they know you're a pussy, they're gonna fuck with you.
Nah, I thought it was like if you're like acceptable to like ghosts or whatever, then like that's when they appear. But if
Here's the thing. Ghosts are people. So it's like
Ghosts are people
it-
too.
I
Come
mean,
on.
yeah.
we're people too.
So you got
Racist.
people that are like, they're not going to fuck with you because you're scared, but then you got the people that will fuck with you because they know
Yeah,
you're scared.
exactly.
I
So
hope you didn't bring no critters with you.
I can't promise anything.
Critters.
They're just
Fucking
following
A.
her.
Because I've always believed that. Like, I remember when my grandma passed away, like a few of my family members saw her, but like she knew not to fuck with me. Cause,
You mean saw her after she passed?
yeah, after she passed. And like my sister, I was one of them. My sister told her like, "Yo, like, don't pop up. Like, like we're good. Like, don't do that. You know, I
Don't
can't
pop up.
You know, I can't handle that." And for me, she didn't even mess with me because she already know that guy's a fucking wuss.
What's your take on the afterlife after having a decade now that you've said you've been dealing with the supernatural?
It's changed so much throughout the years. Like I've gone here and there and back again. I don't know. I mean, I'm still really open to all the possibilities. I mean, the truth is none of us know, so I don't know if I believe in, heaven, hell. I don't know if
Yeah.
I believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that, this is a projection. Like, I mean, people have so many different theories. And I'm just kind of,
simulations.
yeah,
Yeah.
simulation. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or like we were talking about, like if frequencies crossing and
Yeah.
that whole thing. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm still just kind of trying to. I think I'm like a sponge right now. Just trying to take in information and just process it.
You're more agnostic about it than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think every time that I try to settle in on something, I realize that it's kind of ignorant to do because we just don't know.
Yeah. Well, and you think about like the exorcisms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just think it's just some like, because none of them are, well, most of them aren't recent. yeah, just some crazy chick, and they bring in the priest, and she's just talking all this crazy stuff. Has nothing to do with like, well, maybe it does though, but I would assume it's a crazy person. You know, they build it up into this bigger story.
Yeah.
You know, like
Or like during the Salem witch trials where they're like, just like,
Right.
"Oh, let's bind up their arms and see if they can swim."
it wasn't that all like tainted bread or something. You know, the Salem witch trial thing. I think it was like
something to
It
do
was
with yeast and the bacteria.
like the yeast went bad, and then
Yeah,
it makes you
and then
hallucinate. And then they were all hallucinating. They thought they were witches,
Yeah.
and they're just going after women, psychopaths.
And dudes too.
Were they getting dudes
Yeah.
Yeah,
too?
they were getting dudes too.
And Dom can't swim, so
Oh, fuck.
I guess he's not a witch.
dead as fuck.
But you've had some like actual like quote unquote what people would define as evil encounters, yeah? Or with evil entities?
Spirits.
I haven't personally, thank God,
Mhm.
because I don't know what like that's my biggest fear. It really is doing
with
this.
all of this?
Yeah.
Like that
yeah.
you're gonna invite something in that you don't want?
That's
a
just
critter.
something you
A
just
critter.
you don't fuck with it. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
like,
no,
and
I agree with you. Yeah.
in
But,
the
I mean, how do you
paranormal,
know?
like you know, like trust me, it's there's just a line you don't cross. And I mean, it sounds easy, like, oh, just don't cross the line, but that's the thing. That's the risk that we all definitely take being in this field. I've heard of people's lives just getting completely ruined by, kind of messing with darker things. And
Really?
I personally try to stay away from it. I think, when I was on the team with the Kling brothers, like they kind of try to stay away from that stuff. And, I came up under the school of, learning through them. So I was lucky enough to kind of stay away from it just by default. But I'm telling you, being at Pennhurst, like I'm not trying to plug the show, but seriously, like that was the craziest experience of my life. So I have a whole different take on things after that.
So you crossed the line?
I think I got close to the line.
So you brought some critters with you is what you're saying.
Fucking critters.
I could have brought something home with me. I definitely could have.
Damn. It's like my
I don't
Friday
know.
night.
I had some things that were already going on in my house before doing that. And then it was still going on after. So I don't know. I don't know if that, was just already there. But it kind of died down for a while. And then after I came back from doing that, it started picking up again. So I'm like, did I do this? Like, did I bring
Monster
this?
Bash.
It's crowded house now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how many people are in here? Can y'all pay some rent?
Monster Bash, I'm telling you. This is fucking...
Wait, when you said you had people's lives get completely ruined by that, what were you specifically referencing? Like, what happened that you know of?
So nobody that I personally know, but I've heard just stories that I've heard too many stories of this stuff happening that kind of coincide. That I can't deny that it's just like I said. There's just some doors you don't open.
Wait,
Yeah.
like string of bad luck, or are we talking like
Final Destination type shit?
mental
Kind of.
issues, like
all of the above. I actually down to people actually taking their own life, and I mean, like I said, not people that I knew personally, so I can't speak to their
Sure. Yeah,
mental, situation or whatever. But I mean, just the stories I've heard, it just seems like they kind of got broken down as people. Just maybe string of bad luck stuff happening, and just kind of broke them down mentally to where they couldn't handle it anymore. But
I mean, if
dealing
you were
with that
getting
darker
harassed,
stuff.
Yeah.
Think of like if something was going on at your house and maybe you move or something, and you're getting harassed. I mean, if you're getting harassed by an ex,
I was gonna say
Yeah.
people get
let alone
Yeah.
something that like
Yeah.
walks through walls.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like-
Yeah.
let alone a demon.
Yeah.
you can turn off the DMs. You can't, you can't turn off the fucking.
Can't turn
ghosts.
off the DMs from the demons.
from the demons. Yeah.
Demon messages.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to see this.
Oh, you're gonna see this. Yeah, you
That's
come.
it. It's just demon dick pics all fucking day. Just
It's like, what is it, Bird Box? They're like holding their
Yeah.
eyes.
yeah. Nice. Yeah. I think we should get into some of these questions, Dom. You got them queued up.
Yeah, let's do
So
it, let's do
we
it.
shot it out to our audience to ask. I said ghost hunter. I don't know if that's offensive.
No,
I
no.
don't know. Maybe it's like saying colored people.
No, no.
Or calling
No,
a
we'll
little
go there.
person a midget.
Yeah. I don't know. But so we said ask a ghost hunter. So Dom, if you got a
Yeah. Sarah Sadie 33 asks, Does the room temperature change when spirits enter or are present?
Yeah, that's a good
Yes, definitely. It can go either way. Typically, I think most of the time it's a cold spot that you feel, but I mean, I've had temperature fluctuations happen, like with the thermal cam. You notice it numerically, like you see the temperature go up and down, and that's a great way to verify it too. Because like you can feel a cold spot, but you're like, is the air vent or something, But when you have like a 20-degree, 30-degree difference, it's like,
Is
okay.
it that significant sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah.
And how large of a space is this? Is it basically like what a human body would occupy?
Yeah, I've had things kind
It's
of
even
feel like
creepier.
they're standing next to me, sitting next to me. You put your hand in there, and you're like, okay, this is definitely freezing.
That's fucking spooky.
Yeah, you're in someone's guts.
Yeah, right.
The end of their gut.
Straight out of my ass.
What are you, a proctologist?
Yo, man, as we do this, I just hope the ghosts will think like they're a joke to me. You know what I mean? Or I'm a joke
Oh,
to
they're
them.
coming for you.
Like, oh, motherfucker, you think this shit is
Dom's
fucking
not.
funny, huh?
He's not sleeping tonight. You know
They're
that.
already in your Ferrari. They're already hanging out in the Ferrari waiting for you.
Yeah,
That shit's creepy. Man.
He's gonna get some holy water.
That's
true, yeah.
Does that work?
so yes, he is
Supposedly.
getting holy water.
Supposedly.
You can't just. Can you buy holy water? I
Yeah,
don't mean.
you can.
Wait,
You can.
on
Yeah.
Craigslist?
You can buy the body of Christ and the blood of Christ too.
Probably
I think
eBay.
you just go to like a Catholic church and just get water
And he
blessed by
opens up his
yeah.
robe and he's
No,
like, I got
no.
this holy water, fam.
Look, it's like a rabbi making sure it's kosher. The priest can make it holy water.
Yeah, yeah, they can bless it.
Yeah.
Checking. All
Learn
right.
something new every day.
All right. Mobs_mentality asks, do you utilize a taxonomy to classify and categorize ghosts encountered?
So she actually know this chick.
Okay.
She's a doctor.
She's smart.
She's super smart. Actually,
Hey, I didn't even know. I said what I say, Alex, earlier?
taxonomy.
Taxonomy.
She's super smart. She's doctor. She went to West Point. She's legit. Anyway,
Yeah.
so she was, because we talked about it after she asked that question. She was just asking, do they categorize different kinds of ghosts? Because like we're in the movie world, but like that's not, like poltergeists or demons or
I mean, definitely.
friendly.
Foe.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know like how scientifically it gets broken down because I mean, like I said, the lines kind of cross with a lot of the stuff. We try to be as scientific as possible, but it's still not something that we can predict. It's not something that we kind of battle it out with a lot of scientists in this field because it can't be repeated.
Right,
necessarily. So,
and that's one of the main scientific methods, repeatable
evidence. Exactly. Just having like a steady control group to compare things to.
Right.
We're working on it. We're still, that's kind of why we're doing this. But, I mean, like I said, there's definitely, demonic, darker energy. And even that gets broken down into different things that I'm not all too familiar with. Cause like I said, I've tried to stay away from that, but, it's my understanding with like poltergeist activity that it's not an actual entity per se. It's more so an energy that somebody who's like a high output person is putting out. So you get a lot of like these teenage girls that are just like, hormones raging and just like when they get angry, it's like, you can see like that can move across the table or something like that.
Stacking
But it's,
chairs.
yeah, like their energy is, I guess, kind of almost manifesting a being, but it's not an actual being. It's kind of just like an energy.
It's all those pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah, right.
Double espresso shots and shit. Damn, that's fucking crazy. Speaking of evil spirits, I got my own question. Like, have you ever messed with an Ouija board? Played one of those?
When I was younger, yeah. I don't now. I don't now because
Yeah, there's no way.
No.
Fuck that.
I don't, like I said, I don't want to mess with all that.
Yeah.
I just
Well, now when you were younger, you were innocent. You didn't know the repercussions of this.
Well, I don't know if you guys like when I was younger, we were doing the whole like light as a feather, stiff as a board, like levitating people, or doing the that game we used to do where you make each other pass out. Did you guys do that?
We talked about that on this
so
show.
dangerous.
In class, we was like, oh,
So
this-
dumb.
Are kids still doing that?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I hope not.
It's called jujitsu.
No, there was actually a recent thing that was on the news like last year where kids were doing something similar. like they were choking each other out or
It's so
some shit.
dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm like, why were
Yeah,
we
yeah.
doing that? Like, I had a friend that like almost didn't wake up from that. She was
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
for like a couple minutes, and I was like, what are we
Mhm.
doing?
Yeah.
Now they just pour vodka in their eyes.
And now it's like eating Tide Pods.
Yeah.
And stuff. That'll make you pass out.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, Dom. So
Forever.
what did you? What was your question?
No, it was about just
The
about
Ouija
a
board.
Ouija board.
Oh, Ouija board,
Like,
that's
did you
right.
feel anything when you did that? Yeah, it's just like you were too young.
No, I mean, and I always had trust issues. I'm like, someone's moving this.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
That's what I always
you get
thought
like
too.
10
Yeah.
people with their finger
Yeah.
on this.
And you're like, I know that
someone's moving
motherfucker
this.
can't spell too.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next question?
Marcus_Lewis8. He asks, how realistic are movies like The Conjuring? Because they say based on a true story.
I mean, they glamorize stuff, obviously. Like, and even in the shows, I mean, when you're watching just like, you know, the shows that even I've been on, you know, you got to understand, it's like we're in there for hours at a time doing these investigations. They're cutting it down to like, you know, 27 minutes
Sure.
Yeah.
for an episode.
For sure.
And, you know, it makes it look like stuff's just flying off the walls or like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just you go sit in this room and, you know, just everything's going to happen all at once. Like we're sitting in there for hours at a time
Yeah.
sometimes before you're experiencing something, or you're not experiencing anything, and later on you review like the audio and like, oh look, we got an EVP, you know, but they
Sure.
put the creepy music in and
Yep.
all that stuff. Movies like Paranormal Activity, I mean, I'm not saying that stuff can't happen, but it doesn't really happen like
That
that.
movie,
Like,
I have to tell you though, that movie Paranormal Activity freaked me the fuck out.
oh yeah, she's being like drug up the walls.
Dude,
and
that shit's scary. I couldn't
Is
sleep.
that
I've never
the-
seen it.
Oh, you should
You
watch
don't
it.
Is that the
I
one?
don't fuck with horror
Because it
movies.
feels real. That's the thing.
Can we stream an episode of Dom just watching a scary movie?
Yeah.
in the
I'm
dark?
not doing it.
People
I
are
don't even
paying
like.
money to see that.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't
with
even
like reaction shots.
Yeah.
Was
I
it
don't even react. I just kind of like. I'll be chilling.
get uncomfortable?
Yeah, I start sweating.
Wait, was that the one where it looked like it was shot on like the nanny cams or whatever, like the baby
part
monitor?
of that, but then they were filming like a
Yeah, yeah,
documentary
yeah.
for something else.
Yeah,
but it was
but it was
within the-
designed to
Well,
look like it was
Blair,
real.
Blair Witch is the one that started that
Yeah,
whole thing.
Yeah,
And,
that
like-
one didn't freak me out though.
Really?
'Cause
Blair-
a witch
Blair
will
Witch got
catch
me.
hands.
That shit spooked the fuck out of
That
me.
Yeah.
chick that sorry, I'm
Scared
getting
me
worked
too.
up. That chick that came out of the bushes,
Hands
she's like,
right
"Ooh,"
away?
yeah, oh, just coming across.
Out
Get the
cold.
fuck out of here, ghost!
Be gone, God. All right.
What if your arm goes like right through her?
Yeah, at that point you
Okay,
shit.
then you run
Yeah.
and you shit yourself and you run.
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
you got critters with you everywhere
You
after
got-
that.
but at least you have confirmation. Now you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, but then you got critters that want to kick your ass.
Yeah, but then you go get the holy water. You get a couple Four Locos. You have a little seance at the house. Everything's fine.
Just fucking putting the what's the sign or whatever, the pentagram or whatever.
Yeah.
I sit in the middle of it
Of just Four Locos.
She
around
probably
here.
had that in the bush. She probably had like a pentagram.
Oh, yeah, for
candle
sure.
set
with
up.
the Four Locos and meth pipes.
Just hitting each fucking pipe as she goes.
I gotta roll.
Okay.
Do you want me to come back?
We'll be done. Well, we just got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to go to my wife.
Okay. All right. Bradley's on his way out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Take care of that knee.
take care of that knee. He's got to go pick up his car.
Oh, okay.
2 minutes away, I can come back.
Yeah, you should come back.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got-
just come back.
You got keys?
Sure.
No, you got keys.
We'll cut this part. I'll just
Yeah.
edit it.
All
There was no way to say this without interrupting.
No, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Go get your car.
That can stay. Ziggs, you can even stay.
Yep. We'll see you in a minute. Yeah, we'll keep going with the question and then it comes back.
Ask it.
Tom, you got another question?
I do, as a matter of fact. Honorado Salviage, something like that. She asks, do you think nightmares have anything to do with the paranormal?
I don't think that directly, but I mean, could be. You know, some nightmares could. I don't think every nightmare is paranormal, but I mean, I definitely think that there's dreams where I've had that, like I've had kind of relatives that have passed away that come into my dream and it feels real. Like it doesn't feel like I'm dreaming it. It feels like that person's really there, and I think that can happen. Where somebody's like visiting you in your dreams. So I mean, I think dreams, nightmares, all that stuff, it could just be something in your mind, like whatever you're thinking about during the day before you go to bed, or it could be significant. It just depends.
Man, I had this one dream back in the day where it like terrified the fuck out of me. It was so real. Like, dreams, like you're in a place where it's like the place, but it's not exactly like the place.
Yeah, it's like something's just off.
Yeah,
a little
something's
bit.
like a little
yeah.
off. I had this dream that I was in my house home alone, and everything was perfect. Everything was set up exactly as it is. And I was walking through the house, and my parents' bedroom had the master bathroom, but there was a door that went from the living room to the bathroom, then to the bedroom. So it was kind of like a one shot kind of thing. And you could see into the bedroom like a little sliver, you know what I mean, where you like sort of see that. So I'm like walking around the house, and I hear a noise, and I look in the bedroom, and I see somebody like walk past that little like sliver, and then I go to like run out, and then the person just grabs me from behind and like, you know, like covers my mouth like so I can't
That's
scream.
The worst.
Yeah.
I've had dreams like that. The grabbing from behind, like that's like my biggest like no.
Fuck, now I'm gonna have one of those. I never had one of those.
And I legit like
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
and then I would have deja vu every time when I was home alone, and I would like look into that little like eye path, and I would think I would see it every fucking time. I just felt like it felt so real that I thought it was like it was gonna happen.
I had a dream like that where I got grabbed from behind and I was being kidnapped, and that was the creepiest thing ever. You're in the most vulnerable position. Like this guy came running at me and picked me up from behind, and like just like a football. Like I guess, you know, you have to be pretty strong to do that, but like just picked me up and like just like ran off with me. And I realized like you can't kick or hit in that position. Like what would you do if somebody like really picked you up like that?
I mean, it's not gonna happen to me, hopefully.
Well, I'm little.
Scoot,
Like, I
I can do that.
Yeah, wind that leg up forward and just kick him in his
right?
fucking
I
kneecap.
know. Like
I mean,
punch behind you.
In all reality, though, if somebody did that to you, that would be extra terrifying because that would be a big
they're
motherfucker.
so big. Yeah, it'd have to be Shaq or somebody.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's like I thought about it. Like after I woke up, I'm like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you can. I mean,
Scream.
we've
claw,
talked about this
kick.
on the show, but I was out with a group of people. This is probably, I've been here a long time. This is probably like 2005, maybe 6. Anyway, we're out with a bunch of people down here in this area, and we're coming around the corner. There's a group of girls that are with us, and I only know like two of the girls, and they're like a whole block in front of us, and then all the guys are, you know, we're behind and we're just shooting the shit. And a guy walks past us, literally grabs one of the girls, puts her in a van. I know I've told the story before. Puts her in a van, and as she got put in the van, the cops saw the whole thing. So we were way back, and we just saw the guy. We thought it was, you know, it's like this area is a party area. You know, the guy's making a joke. He like picks a chick up, LOL, and then he starts running a little bit, gets around the corner, throws her in the van. So now when they get around, we start yelling like, "Yo, what's going on here?" We didn't see the van part. Anyway, a cop happened to be right there, and anyway, they arrest the guy. The guy is all like cracked out and weird. But then they find out that the weekend before, he ended up stabbing some chick like 60 times. Same thing. He picked a girl up in this area and then threw her in a van and then drove her up like way out in some, you know, woody area and stabbed her like 60 times to death.
See,
And that would have been that chick. Like, it's just.
Sometimes reality is even more
Yeah.
scary than like
that dude's a demon.
I know.
I mean, legit. I mean, that's a demon person. Like, what is going
Well,
on?
here's the thing though. Like this is another thing about the darker stuff. So darker things like to attach themselves to like mentally feeble or like, you know, just,
right. Yeah.
you know, drugs, like people with drug issues and stuff like that. You already have to be like mentally compromised, you know, and it can manipulate that. So
Meth smokers.
Yeah, I mean that builds like that creates weakness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can manipulate that. That's why, like, you know, when I try to go into these investigations, I just try to go in like you have to be kind of like you go in with like
Tough.
just authority.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So you're not getting ripped on White Claws beforehand.
no.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you like go into an area, like turn the lights off, just start smoking meth. And they're
You'll
like,
see
"Ooh,
some
we
crazy
got
shit."
one. The critters.
The critters come out to play.
They're all dancing.
I love how you do the thriller dance.
Man, speaking of fucking people getting stabbed,
Oh God, Jesus!
there was that guy that got stabbed in the 7-Eleven down over on Mission in PB a few weeks ago. The dude that fucking stabbed him, when I finally saw the picture, it was like a homeless dude. That dude had been creeping around my fucking apartment for weeks before that.
Scary.
Like, so normally like homeless people will like go into the dumpster and like take shit out, and they'll stay in like the parking lot area in the alley, or they'll like pass out on like in front of like the property on like the grassy area in between the sidewalk and the street. They'll usually stay off the main property because they don't want to get
Somebody will call.
somebody will call. Yeah. and I was walking out to go do something at like 9, 10 at night, something like that, and like this dude was like on the property, not like trying to break in or anything. He was just like walking around like on the property, on the apartment complex property, and it was just super fucking weird. And I saw him like a few more times, and then yeah, the dude ended up stabbing somebody like right down the street.
But was it justified? I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the stabbing could be justified.
What is going on in San Diego? It's like some Bay Area
PB.
shit you guys are talking
It's
about.
PB. No,
It's
actually,
PB, yeah.
PB. This is the party. I don't know how familiar you are with. Okay.
I had no idea it was like that down here.
Just PB is the highest crime rate but it's the highest party area.
Yeah,
so a lot
it's
of
mostly
okay.
drunk.
stuff.
Yeah, mostly alcohol related
Drunken
bullshit.
I was like, the stories you guys are telling, I feel like I'm in San Francisco. the stabbings and people getting kidnapped and
Yeah.
crazy
Doo-doo
homeless
everywhere.
people.
All right, let's get another question.
All right, the real Specs asks, which areas do you like ghost hunting better? Abandoned prisons or Civil War sites, if you ever been to one?
Been to both. I personally, I think abandoned prisons. I've done quite a bit of the prisons and hospitals are actually, I think, my favorite. Even though they're the creepiest. I don't know. I think I'm drawn to my fears. Like, it's funny because that's where a lot of darker stuff is. Well, no, prisons too. Actually,
Yeah, I feel
had
like
some
it's a
darker
prison.
stuff in the prisons. Yeah. And I really like. I don't want to mess with it, but it's like I'm intrigued by it at the same time. Like I want to see someone else mess with it.
Yeah,
Not to put that on somebody
No,
else,
no,
but
yeah.
like I just want to stay away. But I want to like see what happens.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
What about like a plantation? Have you been to one of those?
I have, yeah, in Louisiana.
Pissed off slaves.
Yeah. Well, because there's some crazy
Coot the-
stories that like
Coot the kid day.
yeah,
Racist.
like people chopping body parts off and stuff that they try to shove under the
dark,
rug.
yeah.
Probably just hear on the audio a bunch of burn, burn, a bunch of slave songs.
Well, my Lord, no.
Raise them up, higher down.
All right. Joshua Hole asks, is there a way to stop student loans from haunting me? Asking for a friend.
I have that question.
We're all working on that one.
Don't pay him.
Yeah, right.
Eventually,
It'll haunt you.
yeah, eventually the bubble will burst, and that's it.
That'll haunt you for life.
Yeah,
and then after death.
Yeah, that's why people are still here. They got to pay their college debt. Ghosts just running around trying to make some money.
That's their unfinished business.
Yeah.
That was my next question.
That's
actually.
it. Yeah, the next Sixth Sense sequel is going to be like, "Hey, can you finish paying my college debt?"
That's how you get them to go to the light. You absolve their debt.
That's what Sergeant Olivis asks. Do spirits stay behind because of unfinished business, or is that a myth?
I mean, I can't say for sure, but that's something that we all definitely think. You see a running theme, it seems like, and people have claimed to have sent people to the light. Like there's a lot of like I personally haven't gone in to try to like clear energy or like a lot of these shows, like I think Paranormal State, they were really big on that. Just kind of helping families to maybe send whatever spirit away. We didn't really do that. A couple times we suggested things like there was like a family feud and something with a tree. I don't remember what it was. We're like, maybe plant a tree in this person's honor and see if it changes things, but it wasn't like our main job to go in there and like get the spirit to
I feel like there's no direct answer with that. Too.
Yeah, no,
It's like,
right?
It's hard
No.
to.
Plus, what if you accidentally send some good person to hell?
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know if they have that power.
I mean, they got to go somewhere.
You're not sure.
Yeah,
so-
Yeah, that's why I thought ghosts were. I thought ghosts were like people that got to the pearly gates, and God was like, "Now you're going to hell," and then they ran back down the stairs.
like purgatory.
Yeah,
That's a theory. That's I think that's like the Christian
It's just
theory or
a
whatever.
bunch of
yeah.
big bouncers standing there like, nah,
There's also
man.
another theory that this is purgatory that we're all in right now.
I'm in purgatory right now.
Sometimes it feels like it. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, illegal alien racing. Ask.
Oh, I thought that was the question.
I was like, what is this gonna be?
Well, pod racing. What are we talking about here?
He says, "Do you take any steps to protect yourself spiritually before doing an investigation?"
Okay, so this is something that after my last couple experiences, I think I need to start taking more seriously. Because I don't do the whole prayers, and a lot of people bring in crystals with them, or do there's a bunch of different things people do. I just
Garlic,
try to
holy water.
all that stuff. I just try to stay like mentally strong. I try not to like open myself up, just a lot of people that, try to meditate and, do all kinds of crazy stuff in haunted places. And I don't do that stuff because it invites,
So what do you mean by like open yourself up? Because I feel like you have to open yourself up some, right? To, I guess.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay, you just walk in there and then.
Well, I mean, like you had experience. You weren't trying to open yourself up.
Hell no, I mean,
Dom's asking because he wants to be safe.
Yeah, no. It just, when you go in these places, like you can try to just mentally, I guess, be at one with the environment. Just kind of, like I said, people meditate or just kind of really clear their mind and try to invite spirits in. Like to really like be one with them, and I don't want to do that because you don't. It's the thing. I mean, darker energy. Demons lie. Like there's demonic confusion. They'll lie to you. They'll tell you, "Oh, I'm this sweet innocent little girl." It's not a little girl. You think it is, and you're like, "Oh yeah, come play with me," and then it's and then your life's ruined. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Damien _EST85. He asked.
Damien, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds suspicious.
Demon.
Demonic confusion going on.
Have you ever experienced sexual aggressive spirits?
No. I know that's happened. I mean, there's definitely been people that get pinned down in their beds and sleep paralysis. I mean, which I thank God I've never experienced. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Oh yeah, I got some stories about that.
Really?
Only in that house I grew up in.
Everything's in this house,
dude. That house was really. I was. I think until like I was 13, I'd walk around with a blanket covering my head. I was so scared. I hated that house. It was so scary. So scary.
Did you tell your parents like all this stuff was going on?
Oh yeah, my mom's like, yeah, there's nothing going on here. She would be in the bathroom, and I'd sit in the bathroom too. 'Cause I was too scared to be out by myself.
Wait,
I was
she still live there?
Scared. No, they sold that house a while ago. But yeah, I'd be so scared in that house. Yeah, didn't like it. I've had a couple sleep paralysis there. I've never had it after. Once there, it looked like there was somebody on top of me holding me down. Another time, I was looking this way off the bed. I was on the top bunk, and I was looking this way off the bed, and there was somebody standing in the room, but it was all dark, and I couldn't move.
No,
and then it wasn't.
There.
The thing is, people describe sleep paralysis, it's not like what I was experiencing. So I don't know, but everyone just goes, "Oh, it's sleep paralysis." Okay, maybe I don't know.
It's
you
like
were
when
dreaming,
you're asleep, but like you're awake.
Yeah, so you wake up and then, but you can't move. But what I was experiencing wasn't that. So I don't, and it only lasts a couple seconds, but it feels like forever. I mean, just imagine not being able to move your body.
Like
well, it sounds like it was. It sounds like it was that, but you actually saw something on top of you.
One time was on top, and the other time there was somebody in the room.
Yeah,
and I was looking that way.
People saying sleep paralysis, they look like something's in the corner usually, or it's always off like to the side or whatever.
I mean, it could have been. I have no idea. I don't want to say either way, but that house was fucking terrifying.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've never had this happen to me, but I think a lot of times like people are like, "Oh, it's just sleep paralysis," because they don't. I mean, sometimes maybe it could be, but
who wants to say it's a demon?
Well, yeah,
there's critters in my house.
Yeah, right.
Smoking beds.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think like every time it's just sleep paralysis.
Right,
I think I mean you see something, it's like something's pinning you down.
I mean, technically, that thing running up the stairs could have been Tyrone, the local crackhead.
It could have been. Yeah, no, it could have been. It could have been anybody.
How high were you guys?
Yeah, very high. Yeah. But the thing is, if it only happened to just me, I'd be like, "Oh, it's high as fuck."
Yeah.
Everyone else was. I mean, I don't smoke the devil's lettuce. I never have, but just
allegedly,
of course.
Was it salvia?
Yeah, it was salvia. No.
Next one.
All right, she's pretty much answered them all, just in her stories and whatnot and her experiences. But the last one is like Craigie. He asks, "Sexiest ghost."
Sexiest ghost.
So
what did I see?
Yeah, it's
seen
always got to go
or
to
heard. Yeah.
I've yet to see a ghost that like actually looks like someone. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
some sexy shadow figures.
Yeah.
Okay.
That ass.
What about the voices? Anybody ever say anything nice?
Well, getting hit on in the dungeon of Alcatraz, that whole "I want you" thing.
I want you is not bad. I mean,
Is that really a hit on? I feel like that's borderline harassment.
no, but if a girl likes you, if a girl likes you, I want you, legit. If a girl doesn't like you, I want you is creepy and disgusting, and get the fuck out of here.
I think in this case, this was creepy, disgusting, and get the fuck out of here.
Well, especially because I can't see what this person looks like.
Some fat, greasy.
I want you.
Why are they never saying like Shakespeare sonnets?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they've got all that time to learn some shit. Like,
why aren't they singing Despacito?
To be or not to be.
Definitely had some crazy EVP experiences. Like, so in my house, this happened recently. So I have not ever had this happen before. But I heard my boyfriend's voice out loud. He was not in the house at the time. I knew he was outside, and I heard clear as day. It said, "Babe," like he was calling me, and I'm like, "He's outside."
Demon.
Like, I know. Like I said, I had other things going on, and then that happened, and I was like, "Wait." And I walked out there because I mean, it was clear as day. And I was like, yeah, even though I knew he was outside, I was like, I'm going to answer him because maybe he came out, in from outside and I just didn't see him or something. But yeah, no answer. Walked out in the house, not there. I'm like, okay, I heard that. Like that happened. And, like the day before I saw the same thing that I've been seeing. Like it's not like an actual figure, but I see like at the height of what a person would be, like a light kind of go by, like almost like a misty figure go by.
My sister saw like back in the day too. She said
that. So you've experienced that too.
No.
Oh, she did. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to experience that.
I don't want nothing to do with that shit.
Well, I've had that happen like several times in that house, and then that voice thing happened. I'm like, okay, this is creepy. And like I said, this was after I came back from Pinhurst, but it had gone on a couple times before going there. So I'm like, is this a different person? And like, I don't know. I haven't had it happen in a couple months now, so hopefully it's gone away.
You're still there.
I'm still there.
I'd be out the door, moving into it.
Yeah,
but it's like when I see a spider, I just burn down the house. Same thing. You see a ghost,
burn it down.
Burn it down. Collect insurance money.
It's arachnophobia. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fraud, baby. Get the fuck out of here.
I was gonna ask, do you sleep with all the lights off?
No. I've lived in a couple haunted places now. And like I said, I mean, doing this for as long as I've done it now, there's still experiences like some of the things you guys have talked about. Like, I don't want that. Like, that's still next level for me. But just footsteps or like seeing something briefly in the house, like I can get over that kind of thing. You get desensitized. You
probably
do.
Like coming home from the club so tired, like, yeah, not today, man. If you're gonna get me. I'm going to sleep. That's crazy.
So I did when I was a kid, though. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't like the paranormal movies that got me. The movie that got me, it's still my favorite horror movie to this day, was Candyman.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, see, I was good. I was scared of Candyman at first because I used to live in Chicago.
Oh,
so I was like, this motherfucker's like right down the street. And the project's next to me.
That actor's super creepy.
Is Cabrini Green real? Is that a real place?
Yeah, it's not anymore. They
tore it down.
Yeah, but yeah, back when I was in Chicago, Cabrini Green was a real deal.
I want to meet Tony Todd. That's like my goal. I want to meet him, and he actually does a lot of like the horror cons. I haven't been to them, but like the paranormal community and the horror community kind of cross. So hopefully at some point I'll see him.
Yeah, I didn't like Candyman. I was like, boo, that was right up the street.
Scary movie.
So you didn't go in the bathroom and say Candyman?
Hell no.
We built a house. My parents built a house when I was younger, like maybe a year after I seen that movie, and the house was almost finished, but they hadn't put the medicine cabinet in my bathroom. And it was one of those bathrooms where like you had to walk about like 5 steps in to be able to reach the light switch. And I didn't want to go in there because like the medicine cabinet was missing, and like he comes through that.
Hell yeah.
And I couldn't turn the light on, so I would get like a broomstick and like stand in the hallway to turn the light switch on to go into the bathroom. I wouldn't walk in there. I'm like, I'm not going in there.
Yeah, there's no mirror. He'll walk right through.
Hey,
the lift's gonna come through.
Nice house.
I'm here. What up?
Man, fuck your couch.
So when does the show drop?
October. I don't have like a specific date yet.
Yeah, but in October, yeah.
For right now, it's called World's Biggest Ghost Hunt.
Yeah.
But they may change that title. So
working title.
It's working title. Yeah.
Cool.
And you said A&E.
A&E. Yeah.
Love
it's
it.
a 2-hour special.
And how can people find you?
So I have a website, katieburr.com.
Okay.
But I post most stuff on my Instagram, Katie Burr Official.
Love it. And that's 2 R's, right?
Yeah.
Katie Burr, BURR official.
I
Love
love
it.
to follow you, but I have a feeling like following you would invite
The critters?
the critters.
Hey, I'm already here. I think like
Yeah.
this is the worst
critters
of
are already here.
it.
Yeah, you think
Zick can let me know.
the follow on Instagram goes to the cloud? Yeah.
It's
they're
like-
get
it's It's like bed bugs. They're already here.
Well, thank you for doing the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Everyone go follow Katie. Like, subscribe this, and
And shop.tastelessgentlemen.com.
for all of your t-shirt needs, flags, canvases, condoms. I don't know.
Get
We
your
gotta-
critters.
Get in your critters. We're selling critters. We got critters. We got demons on deck, baby.
We should just start selling it like pet rocks.
Adopted demon.
Yeah, adopt a demon.
Yeah.
A jar of demons.
Demon in a bottle.
He needs a good home.
I love it. Adopt a demon like adopt a highway. Just like adopt a demon. Love it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Love you. Yeah.
That's it.
Bye.
All right, no E.
No
Matt?
E, no
E.
Bradley.
All right, fucking no
All
Bradley, no E. Talk
All
good.
All right. Peace out.
Yeah, have a good one. Hey, look who shows up.
We just finished.